Hello, good evening. Happy Easter. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. I also have a great topic for you today. So, can permanent residents sponsor their relatives to get a green card in the United States? The answer is yes. However, you still do have to meet certain requirements as the relative of a permanent resident to successfully get your permanent residence. But you don't have to wait. If you do qualify, permanent residents, green card holders, you don't have to wait to apply for your US citizenship to apply for certain relatives. Now, the relatives that green card holders can, the relatives who green card holders can sponsor are their spouse, their unmarried children. The unmarried children, if they're under 21 and unmarried, and also if you're 21 and over and unmarried, then if you fall within this category, you can be sponsored by your green card holder relative, parent or spouse to come to the United States. So, for instance, I often hear the misconception from others that they have to wait for their spouse to become a US citizen because their permanent resident spouse can't apply for them. That's not true. However, I can see where that misconception has been born from. The reason there's this misconception is if you're here without status, so you've overstayed your permanent residence, you've overstayed your visa, or you've crossed the border without permission and you're here with your permanent resident spouse, that permanent resident spouse can still apply for you. But the process you're going to go through is going to be different from the adjustment of status. Adjustment of status is the process of staying in the United States and applying for permanent residence. But in this case, because you're out of status or you cross the border without permission, you don't qualify for adjustment of status. You'll have to go through consular processing. There is a special process for spouses and children of green card holders and even of US citizens if you cross the border without permission to be able to leave the US, get a waiver approved, to get forgiveness for the overstay that will allow you to then go to your country or go to the country of your choosing to attend the interview. This is called the I-601a Waiver for individuals who are here in the United States. You don't qualify for adjustment of status, but you have a US citizen or legal permanent resident, spouse or parent who will experience extreme hardship if you don't get the green card. And in this case, you would be able to submit this waiver. So let me remind you, I'm also here to answer your US immigration related questions. So start putting your questions in the comments. I'm already seeing those questions in TikTok. I'm just going to cover some additional issues related to permanent residents applying for their relatives, and then I will hop right into your questions. So the other thing is, how long does it take? You've probably heard that it is faster for your US citizen, parent, or spouse to apply for you than if they were a permanent resident. Once again, that's partially true. However, if you're the spouse of a permanent resident or you're the child under 21 and unmarried right now of a permanent resident, the timeline is similar as the timeline is the same for relatives of US citizens. And this is because there is no wait list for an immigrant visa number. That's what causes the holdup most of the time. And in this case, the spouses and children under 21 and unmarried don't have a wait list. So now is a good time to apply. You should not be holding off. As long as you know you qualify, jump on it so that you can take advantage of the fact that there is no wait list, even if your relative is a permanent resident. Now, it's a different matter if you're 21 and over and you're unmarried, the child of a green card holder. In this case, there is that wait list, and it is a 5 to 6 year long wait list. But one thing I want to remind you here is that even though it does seem like a very long time and it's not an immediate or not a fix for your situation right now, by submitting your application now, you could be creating an option for yourself in the future. So don't hesitate. Just because the timeline is longer for sons or daughters of green card holders who are 21 and over, just because it's longer doesn't mean that you should not apply at all. Because by the time you blink your eyes, it's probably 5 to 6 years later, and you would be looking back and saying, oh my gosh, if only I had created that option for myself. And then keep in mind that you can always pursue opportunities that will give you a faster result if that should arise, but you will always have this option available as it's being processed. Now, keep in mind the information I'm giving you is not personalized legal advice. So make sure that you schedule a personalized consultation to understand, for me to understand what your situation is and to fully evaluate your circumstances and advise how you should move forward in your case. But the number one takeaway here is that if you are the spouse or you're the child of a permanent resident, and when I say child, I mean you are under 21 and unmarried. Right now, that's the fastest way. If you're the spouse or unmarried child under 21 of a permanent resident, it's one of the fastest ways right now to get permanent resident. So if you don't want to wait for your spouse to become a U.S. citizen or your parent to become a U.S. citizen, you can do it now. And even when your spouse or your parent becomes a U.S. citizen, then you can upgrade your status if it leads to an upgrade. And there are other considerations when you're thinking about this, but that is where I would need to talk to you in a consultation. Now, go ahead, go to the link in the profile. It's going to take you to the website. You can go to the About page on YouTube. Click on the link. It's going to take you to the website, and all three would lead to a scheduling coordinator. Scheduling coordinators will be happy to assist you. Scheduling coordinators will be available up until 7:30 today. So get on the calling and schedule your appointment so that you can get the advice you need to make a move in your case. Now I'm going to questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I already see some on TikTok, so let's get started. Hi there, Queen just said, so nice to see you and thanks for the compliment. Hello, my sister married to her husband. It's been a year now. Husband never received a work permit. So work permits are backed up, and that is not surprising. However, I don't know if he was approved for a work permit, it just didn't come in the mail, or he never heard. So that's where I wouldn't know, but I know they're backed up right now. It's not surprising that it's taking up to a year to get that work permit. Check on your case, make sure you call the agency that has your application. I haven't heard back from USCIS after biometrics. It's been 2 months. That is the norm. That is the story of our lives. So after the biometrics, time will pass, and they will continue to process your case. They'll be doing the background check. And if you applied for your work permit or your travel document, you may be seeing those coming in the mail soon. So just look out for it, but you're not alone. You shouldn't necessarily be worried, but check on your case. If you have any issues, you know where to find me. I haven't heard back from USCIS. Okay, so after biometrics, it's been 2 months. My US citizen daughter filed the form. Okay, so that's the same thing. Can I file for my siblings? If you're a US citizen, 21 and over, you could file for them. Keep in mind that the processing times vary now from 14 years to 20 years if you're in Mexico. So that's the only thing. Filing for your siblings is not going to fix their status if they're here without status. It's not going to be an immediate thing that they're going to get their permanent residence for a while unless the law changes. Biometrics reuse on I-485 March 8th, but not applied yet on I-765 or 131. Why? So usually when they say they have been using reusing the biometrics, they're not going to send you 3 notices. It's across the board. So they're going to use the biometrics for all 3. So remember, you're not being scheduled for a biometrics appointment 3 times. They use 1 fingerprint for the background check of your case. And so it's going to apply to all 3 applications. How long should I stay in the US before I can apply for a green card? That is definitely going to require consultation. I wouldn't be able to tell you that because there's so many follow-up questions I have for you. Who's your relative? If you don't have a relative, who's applying for you? How do you qualify? Do you have special skills? What's your age? What's your marital status? What is, are you staying here now? Like, have you overstayed? Are you on status? What's your current immigration status? What are your goals to be here? So many different questions. So how long should I stay in the US? Now, usually if you qualify for permanent residence, it's going to come down to what your current status is now. And how do you qualify for the green card? Because you must qualify through family, through employer, through humanitarian means to be able to get the permanent residence. Can my daughter file for me? If your daughter is 21 and up and is a US citizen, then yes, it is possible that she'll file for you. Now, whether she can individual file for you, I don't know. Generally, sons or daughters 21 or over who are US citizens can file for their parents, even if that parent has overstayed, by the way. All right, so I see a question here on YouTube. Does advance parole mean you can travel? If yes, how long? I mean advance parole on a work permit. Advance parole is there to allow you to come back into the country when you leave. Now, is it advisable for you as an individual to travel? That is what I advise my clients on an individual basis. I apply for the travel document for my clients if they qualify, especially when they're going through adjustment of status. But then I have it there in case they need to leave, not necessarily just me. It not necessarily means they should be heading in and out of the country on a regular basis. Because there is a risk every time you leave the country. Anything can happen to your application, and if you're out, you don't want to be outside of the United States if there is some kind of question about your application or denial. So that's where advance parole is there for travel, but is it advisable for you to leave the country? And also you have to be, I always remind you, if you're leaving the country, it's an advance parole, meaning it allows you to come back into the country, but it does not provide you a travel document for the country you're going to. So for example, if you're going to, Australia, and Australia requires you're a citizen of a country that Australia requires a visa from you, the travel document isn't going to allow you to get into the country. So make sure you have all the right documents to enter the other country. And make sure that you don't go for extended periods of time, and you have to consider the risk in your case. All right, so how long does USCIS take respond after a fingerprint for change of non-immigrant status? So they're all over the place right now. Check on the field office and the specific form, and you'll see their processing times. Already done my interview, but my case was reviewed, and yesterday done my 120. So what can we do? You can always call, schedule a consultation, or check with the office to see what's going on. Remember, I didn't work on your case. I didn't review anything, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what to do next. Me and my wife are getting married in September. She is not here with status. what would be the best option for the green card? So Autumn, that's what I help my clients with. Get in touch. Let us talk about the situation. It's going to come down. She's here without status. How did she enter the country? If she entered without permission, it's going to be a different process. She may not qualify for adjustment of status, but there are ways to fix the situation. That's where the consultation is going to be very important. Also, if you're a US citizen and she overstayed her visa, then adjustment of status may be an option even after the overstay. So get in touch. I'd love to assist you and your wife. For green card, I have my father, US citizen. I have a bachelor's degree on visa, but have not overstayed. So Irene, I still would need to speak with you, because what's your age? What's your marital status? What kind of bachelor's degree are you looking at? You're on a visa. Do you have any prospective employers? So you see why I need to do this consultations, because it literally takes an hour to sift through all of the facts and determine how you qualify. So I wanted to know if I'll be eligible to get a green card, want to work. So US citizens can sponsor their child, whether it makes sense for you is going to come down to follow-up questions that I have to ask. Now go to the link in the profile. It's going to take you to the website where you can schedule your appointment through a scheduling coordinator. If you go to the website, you go to the contact page. There's also a form that if you go through the form and confirm your appointment and choose your time. All right, so I am heading on over to Instagram. Thank you for your time. I'll definitely be back on Monday. So I hope you have a great Easter holiday. I'll be back on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern time to continue to bring you a good topic and also to take your questions. I see one more. So Autumn Marie, so how would I set up a meeting? So if you go ahead and call, so if you go to the link in the profile, it'll take you to the website, and also my number is all over my videos. Call that number. It will lead to a scheduling coordinator. The scheduling coordinator will be more than happy to help you set up. You can also go to the contact page. So contact or schedule my consultation on the website, and you will be able to schedule your own appointment. So those are two good ways. Cydia, you're welcome, and happy Easter to you too. My father's filed for me in 2014. He's a citizen. I'm over 21. How long I have to wait? So right now it's taking anywhere from 6 to 7 years. And so 2014, you may be close to getting processed soon. So keep an eye on your case. Irene, I'm looking forward to speaking with you. I'm heading on over to Instagram right now. I am the immigration attorney on Instagram. On Facebook, I'll be ST Law Office. You can meet me there and continue to have this conversation. If you have not gotten to ask your questions, join me there. Otherwise, I hope to speak with you in a consultation or see you on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great evening and weekend. Bye-bye.